Just quick introductions of who we are. I'm Gino Bernardi.
And then Temnio Morabito, and we're both working on Eve.
Yep. Eve is secure closed community networks. Our company is ARC's CCN, Closed Community Networks. We've been working on this project for about 1.5 years, and we are soft launching it today. So really happy that the room here is watching, and this will be the first live demonstration actually of Eve. Oh yeah, and the structure of the talk, we'll just talk a little bit more about Eve right now, maybe for another 15, 20 minutes, and then Danny will host the live demonstration and even get a little bit into the code, developing an app for Eve. So, what is Eve? It's a tool for building closed community networks. These are invite-only communities. We are using Nostr on the back end. We'll get more into that in a minute. Everything is end-to-end encrypted on your local device, and these messages are wrapped up in an encrypted envelope passed through the Nostr relays. Everything is synced and stored locally, so everything you do on Eve happens local first. Also offline first. And Danny will talk a little bit now in technicals how the CCNs work.
Yeah, so CCNs are essentially, we can call them closed groups on Nostr. So you can think of them as private islands essentially, where every single interaction is encrypted, and every single interaction uses unique encryption keys. Currently, those keys are rotated every 8 hours. And we use XCharger20 poly1305 for the encryption. But in the future, we're going to be moving to MLS, the messaging layer security, and the post-quantum extended Diffie-Hellman for actually exchanging keys between the members. Next slide. Keep going. Yeah, so as we said, CCNs have invite-only membership. So everything is completely private from the outside world, essentially. And we have a relatively novel reputation system, which I'm going to show some code real quick for anyone who's interested. It's written in Ruby, so it's simple to read. But obviously, the actual code isn't this. So it's based on ELO, which is an algorithm used in chess for essentially calculating the score of like how good you are in the game, but we've repurposed it to handle reputation. So you have essentially upvotes and downvotes for any event that happens within the CCN, and those affect the reputation positively or negatively to the user. Gino, if you can press plus a bunch of times. So yeah, we're just going through the code a little bit. You can ask questions later, but it's based on ELO pretty much.
And so yeah, a key part of that reputation system is those you invite and their score, or you can get it. Okay.
No, press next.
There you go.
Yeah,
oh,
you.
Oh, yeah. Right, so yeah, a key part of that ELO-based reputation metric is for those who you invite to the community, your scores are interlinked. Good behavior through your invitees will increase your reputation, and consequentially, bad behaviors, if you potentially invite any bad actors to your community, negative actions will also then negatively affect your own reputation.
Yeah. And CCNs are extensible with applications that we currently call ArcSlets, but we're probably going to change that name because we've heard a few people don't like it, so.
Apps, they're apps.
Apps. What's next? Yeah, so ArcSlets are mini applications that run within your CCN. Currently, they're written in JavaScript, but in the future, we're going to change them to allow WASM so that it can be built with literally any language you can think of. Those are, yeah, community, literally anything you can think of. These are forums, feeds, community pools, calendars, charts, and whatever else that comes to mind.
And today we'll be demonstrating some very early concepts of several of these apps, such as a forum, a community feed, and I believe the calendar. No, not the calendar. To-do app.
Yeah. Next. Yeah, so as I was saying, those are JavaScript-based applications, and in the future we're going to do WASM. Press next. Next. Yeah, those are stored as events on the relay. So those are Nostr events. We're going to go in depth about it a little more, but essentially they have a unique identifier, name, description, an icon, a version, and obviously the script itself, which is a browser compressed JavaScript code, which supports a function called render. Again, it's a little more complicated than that, but that's the gist.
As a developer developing an app for Eve, this is just the key piece of information you need to know. Everything else is you'd be familiar with. You won't need to know anything special other than really just that render function.
Next. Yeah, and the arclets are limited to only seeing the data in your CCN. They cannot interact with the internet. They're completely sandboxed, and everything is, built within. As a sneak peek, this is Eve, or rather, this is Eve, and we're, one second. Where is my mouse? Okay. This is Eve. This is currently a test community that we have that we've, filled with test data. In this case, it's a Chicago-based restaurant, essentially, breakfast restaurant. And we have various applications running. So there is Arbor, which is...
and just real quick, the test data we chose here is, we're trying to think deeply about, the question we get asked the most is, what communities are going to use this, or who are your first communities going to be? And the long-term vision here is any community at all whatsoever. I think a tool like Eve is going to eventually become as ubiquitous as a personal computer, because we've gotten in an era where we all have personal computers now, and we all have community, and we need a way to privately interact with our communities. So that's pretty impactful, right? There's no other way to do that than with a new system or a new architecture like Eve. So my personal use case, my ideal use case would be starting communities with people to start small businesses together. And then that's the demo data we have here today is like a Chicago restaurant.
Yeah, obviously it's a fictional one, but you can see, those conversations happening. So various threads in a forum, between members. Those members all have a reputation that you see up here. And, you have a simple forum here. You can interact. You also have a Twitter-style feed where those people can, share announcements or whatever. But everything is extensible, and everything can be built. Any application that can run on your computer can run on Eve. So to show that this is actually live and working, I'm going to quickly show an invite code. This is how you get into Eve. You copy this invite or scan it, and you will join the community. On that computer there, Gino has already joined, and he's going to quickly publish something, and hopefully we're going to see it live, assuming it works.
Yeah, I'm going to post a new note to the Howl app. I don't know, we'll figure this out as I go.
Clock is thinking, come on. Okay, yeah, so Gino currently doesn't have a profile set, but this is the note that he published, and everything up and end-to-end encrypted, so he sent a note from that machine. It got sent to, well, essentially in an encrypted form over Nostr as the communication platform using a completely random key. And then my computer running Eve downloaded that note and stored it in my computer. and then rendered it as soon as Gino pressed the button, essentially. And to showcase the extensibility of Eve, what we're going to do is we're going to build an ArcSlet live. So an ArcSlet, as we said, is an application that runs on Eve. And, I feel like it makes perfect sense for this community building a restaurant to have a to-do list. So that's what we're building.
Yeah, and actually, I just wanted to mention one more thing about the two apps that we're showcasing here. We identified that Arbor, the community forum, would be pretty much for all communities, probably the most essential first app to have. That's why we started with that. I don't know about you guys, but my earliest memories of the internet and feeling like the internet was truly a useful tool to me was my time interacting in forums. That's where I really learned probably the most interesting information. Goofy stuff about pawpaw trees, like how to properly care for and maintain pawpaw trees. There's a community for everything, right? And it's in bulletin board style forums where I found the most productive format and conversation style. I feel like Reddit is good, but not as good as a BB style forum. And then social media, I hate it, and I think a Twitter feed is good, but why we're so addicted to these short form posts and stuff and social media, it's so distracting, and it's not really conductive to small communities. So that's a little bit more about why we chose those two apps as our start launch apps.
All right, so I'm going to be jumping into the code a little bit. But first, I want to mention that whenever you run Eve, you have a dedicated documentation running that showcases everything that we're talking about here and more. And this can be browsed from any computer in the network. So we're currently going into the code right now. So okay, we need to make the font smaller, significantly smaller. Okay. So we're going to start by defining two types of events that are available for this tool. So that is kinds 35432, which is a to-do event. This contains a content element, which describes what the to-do is about, a unique UUID that marks the to-do item, an optional due date, which the to-do should be completed by, and then an optional marker that comes from this to-do ArcSlet. And then we have kind 35433, which is a to-do event completion. This essentially, this can be sent by anyone in the community, and it will mark any specific to-do item as done. We're now gonna quickly show some simple code. Okay, so Eve provides a very simple API for finding events into your community. This is the window.eve, which creates a very simple API. So for subscribing to events, we have this subscribe to events, which subscribes to, in this case, those two noster kinds, and it puts them into a list. And we're gonna quickly, build this. And of course it doesn't work because it's a live demo. Okay, yeah, that was just, I forgot to remove this. Okay, sorry about that. Right now we're building this ArcSlet, pushing it to the CCN, and you can see the message about that. And if we go back to the CCN, you're gonna see very soon, there you go, the to-do app, which currently just takes a bunch of to-do events that have been created previously, essentially, and showcases those over here. This obviously is just a stream of what's going on. It's not something pretty to look at. So what we're going to do next is we're going to take this data and filter out the various types. So we put completed to-dos in one pile, essentially, and to-dos to still complete in another one. 6. Okay. So the way that we do this is very simply, we have the same code as before to actually get all of those events. We put them in an array. And then we create two computed values. Those are a map of all the to-do events, which we simply parse. We put in a set based by UUID, which means that technically speaking, you could update the event in the future if we make a typo or anything like that, as long as you pass in the same UUID. And we essentially put them in a nicer format. And we create, then later we look through the 35433 kinds. And if we find an event with an ID that we already used, we just marked it as completed by the person that published the completion event and at the date that they published. Pretty simple Nostr stuff. You don't even have to think about anything. It just works in the community. We then take this. We sort the to-do items in a nice way. So we put the ones with a done by, so like the to-dos need to be completed, we put them higher up in the stack, and then otherwise we just sort by creation date. We finally create two functions. One to create a to-do, which is very simple. So we just create a Nostr event of kind 35432 with a unique UUID as the kind. And if there is a done by date, we push that into the tag. And then just use window if to publish to just publish it up. As you can see, the event isn't even, technically speaking, as far as Nostr is concerned, isn't even complete. But Eve just handles that under the hood. You don't have to, sign the event or even say that it's from you. We just handle that. So you just have a simple window.eve.publish. And then we also have a function here. Where did I put it? A function here to mark a to-do as complete. So again, we just called window if publish. We publish this 35433 event marked with that to-do. And if we build this, and if I can spell build, again, we build it, we publish to the CCN. This takes 1 KB-ish of data. And as we look at the list, it now looks like this. We have a simple way to add a to-do. We have this section of completed and incompleted to-dos. And we can mark some of them as complete. If I can actually click it. There you go. And those get added to the list below. Now, obviously, this looks ugly because it's example code, so we can add some nice styling, which I'm going to do in a second. And I'm not going to show this step. Just trust me that all I did is add style, because going through CSS stuff is boring. And there you go. Come on. There you go. Yeah, and we have very nice looking ArcSlet here showing to-dos, who completed them and who created them. And well, I guess those are the to-dos that are completed. Any questions so far about how about anything I explained or went through? Awesome. Yeah, 5. Oops. Wrong button. 9. Okay. Gino, come back on stage rather. Next. Next. Come on. What's next? Yeah, so what the future holds for us is going to be building a bunch of ArcSlets, having obviously better security, better CCN privacy, and hardware. We are going to be selling hardware for Eve. So that is a bootable drive that you can just plug into your computer, or a dedicated machine that runs the application. And Gino will tell you more about that.
Yeah, so it's important to think about separation of concerns. I mentioned, talked a little bit about this earlier. My use case for Eve is starting businesses with my local community, but also for my closest family and friends. I think that's also where we would want to think a device like this starting. It's nice that we have apps like Signal, but really all it does is, it's just a chat app. And, if we're going to be productive and stay connected as communities, we need the same tools that we rely on, for, work and our daily lives. And that's far more than just single-threaded chat apps,
Yeah.
right? And this is an open space. This is a platform where any app your community imagines can be built. Separation of concerns. We really would recommend having a hardware device dedicated to your future communications on Eve.
Yeah, and we have 3 kinds, as we were saying. So we have a bootable USB that you essentially just plug into any computer and have access to EVOS, which is the operating system that runs everything under the hood, which is an operating system based on Fedora with a bootc container. We have the computer itself, which is a dedicated device for your community. And we have a more premium version of the computer, which is the Eve Pro, which will allow AI-based integrations within your community for those who like that. So not me.
Nothing in Eve was coded by an AI.
That's true. All human written, including the bugs. So there you go. Oops, I meant 9. Yeah, keep going. Yeah, and we're also going to be providing additional services for communities. One thing that everyone needs is storage. Obviously, a lot of this will be provided within the CCN itself. So essentially, you upload a blob storage, and this will be downloaded by everyone. But up to a certain point, because as communities get larger, there's going to be a need for larger and larger files. And so we're going to be providing a paid option for storing large files for communities. Same thing with email. Gino is a big proponent of having encrypted communications to the outside world within the community. and providing a tool that will essentially handle end-to-end encryption of the email, just like Proton essentially, but will be storing all the email within your CCN. It will be accessible from within, is what this tool is. And obviously a bunch of other stuff, you know, external newsletter, for example, for our community, and you skipped it. And we will allow communities to have membership fees as well in the future. Now you can keep going. And obviously we're going to be building lots of axlets. We're not going to stop at, you know, those two that you saw. Just imagine hundreds of them. And hopefully some of them built by you. Next.
Last slide.
Follow us on Nostr if you want, or don't, whatever you prefer. Any questions? I was hoping for a yes.
Fire them off. Who here is a developer actively developing?
Okay. Anything about the explanations made sense to you or didn't, I guess? Is there anything that I should go more into about how it works? Yes, Christopher Allen. What? Yeah, so I'm glad you asked. So the way that we're thinking about everything in Eve is that everything is modular. So currently the reputation system is built around ELO, but in the future this can be swapped out for anything. So communities will be able to choose their own reputation system if they want one even. For example, we can use ELO, or we can use something like Beta, which is a reputation system built, a reputation system that's designed to be resilient. But the point is, we have ELO now. In the future, we can have anything that the community can imagine.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be that.
And you know, like a little, like, you know, one step deeper than having ELO now is we have that ledger, right? That ledger of actions that would eventually derive some reputation score, whether that be a number, a label, or just the ledger itself. Maybe could be what a community wants.
Okay, anything else? Okay, I guess not. So again, this is Eve. You're free to experiment with it.
You want to show where the code lives?
Yes, I do. Give me a second, because that's not. New window. Let's move to number 3, 4. 1 second. Sorry, I didn't prepare that. Yeah, so the entire code is available on our Git and replicated. So this is our self-hosted Git server at git.ccn.com. Obviously, everything is also replicated on GitHub at github.com/rx/ccn. We have 3 main repos available here. So that's the OS, which is essentially what we generate to run on the actual devices. We have, and hopefully I don't show any private repos. Okay, we have the actual Eve code, which runs the relay and everything like that. And we have the UI portion of it, which It's self-explanatory, and sadly it's written in Electron right now, but we'll change in the future.
All right, if there's no more questions, then thank you very much.